AJ Soprano is the rare television character who improves with scrutiny, largely because the writing understands a truth most viewers prefer to deny. Adolescence is not a heroic journey. It is an extended case study in misplaced priorities, technicalities masquerading as logic, and the unearned confidence of someone who has never been required to understand how anything works. On first exposure, AJ reads as the show's greatest indulgence, annoying, useless, and granted far too much screen time for a boy whose primary skill is absorbing oxygen. With repetition, however, the point becomes unmissable. He is supposed to be this way. The mafia around him may be theatrically heightened, but AJ is painfully plausible. Not a caricature, not a quip machine, not a mini adult. Just a real teenager drifting through a world he doesn't understand, delivering comedy by earnestly failing to grasp the moment. The funniest AJ scenes aren't the loud ones. They're the tiny, surgical beats where the family drama is at full boil, and he responds as though reality is a poorly labeled worksheet. Take the dinner blow-up. Tony snaps, orders him to get his jacket, and storms toward the exit. Most people hear rage, shame, escalation. AJ hears a logistical problem. I don't have a jacket. Not defiance, not fear, a literal correction, as if the argument should pause until the wardrobe inventory has been verified. That single line captures the essence of AJ, emotionally absent, situationally illiterate, and sincerely convinced that identifying the wrong noun is the same thing as addressing the crisis. The same precision strike cluelessness lands in his interview with the Army recruiter, helpfully embodied by a voice that sounds like it came with its own warning label. When asked whether he ever imagined growing up to be a cheater, AJ answers no, with the mild confusion of someone being asked whether he once aspired to perform in Disney on Ice. The question is moral. His response is administrative. He doesn't reject the accusation so much as wonder why anyone would waste time imagining it. The comedy is not that he lies. It's that he cannot locate the topic. This is AJ's signature move, missing the point with such clean sincerity that it becomes impossible not to laugh. The show does it again when he's told to clean the gutters and genuinely does not know what gutters are. Not refusing to do chores, not strategic helplessness, but honest ignorance, the kind that only flourishes in a home where parents demand competence while refusing to teach it. Then comes the technicality defense. It was after midnight, offered with the enthusiasm of a man who believes he has uncovered a constitutional loophole. If on your mother's birthday makes it worse, then surely after midnight makes it better. The logic is consistent, the parenting less so. That dynamic, indulgence, sheltering, then sudden bursts of outrage, creates a perfect incubator for AJ's brand of incompetence. The household expects self-sufficiency without instruction, maturity without modeling, grit without purpose. Meadow gets the benefit of natural intelligence and ambition. AJ gets the benefit of comfort and the curse of being directionless in a home that confuses yelling with leadership. When the adults finally notice the mess they've helped create, they respond the way many families do, by acting shocked that a child raised without fundamentals doesn't possess them. Even AJ's employment disasters are written as miniature editorials on entitlement and delusion. After getting fired from Blockbuster, he doesn't plead, he rationalizes. Why should he care about Blockbuster anyway? And how could it ever provide a living wage? The absurdity is so pristine that even Tony can't sustain his anger without laughing, because the statements are ridiculous, but also structurally familiar. A spoiled kid, raised on comfort and grievance, trying to speak adulthood into existence without doing any of its work. And yet, for all the ridicule he earns, AJ is also one of the most grounded presences in the series. Not because he's wise, he isn't, but because he behaves like someone audiences have met. His sarcasm is underpowered, his vocabulary blunt, his attention span fractured. He's never fully in the moment. He doesn't read the room so much as stare through it. That realism is precisely why he triggers such intense embarrassment. He embodies that uniquely adolescent ability to make a scene worse simply by being himself. There's a reason he inspires the kind of secondhand discomfort usually reserved for public meltdowns and family dinners that should have been emails. The performance matters here. The degree to which AJ is off-putting is not a flaw. It's evidence of competence. Many viewers mistakenly convert frustration with the character into resentment toward the actor, which is an impressive way to miss the point while watching a character defined by missing the point. AJ's most humiliating moments, his blank stares, his misplaced confidence, his casual delivery of horrifying information, are calibrated. The character is irritating because the portrayal is convincing. That convincing ugliness is also why, over time, AJ becomes funny rather than merely aggravating. The series is packed with grandstanding personalities and operatic criminals. AJ's comedy is smaller, drier, and far more familiar. He is the living outcome of middle-class indulgence in the early 2000s. The comfortable home, the consumer culture, the anger without a target, the desire to feel profound while avoiding effort. It's not noble, it's recognizable. None of this makes AJ likable in the traditional sense. He can be selfish, listless, and obnoxious, squandering advantages with the casual entitlement of someone raised to believe the world is obligated to accommodate his mood. But the writing refuses to simplify him into either villain or victim. He has flashes of innocence, occasional empathy, and moments of accidental honesty that cut through the adult's social lies. Sometimes he calls it like it is, not because he's brave, but because he hasn't learned the diplomacy required to pretend. In the end, the AJ Soprano experience is less about loving him than understanding what he represents. He is not there to be impressive. He is there to be true. The mobsters posture and mythologize themselves. AJ can't even mythologize a chore. He is what happens when parents outsource responsibility to wealth, shelter their child from reality, and then demand he master reality on command. The results are predictable: confusion, depression, irritability, and a life lived in loopholes. So yes, AJ is useless. That's the joke. That's also the critique. And the longer the series sits under review, the clearer it becomes that his greatest comedic weapon is not wit, but the relentless sincerity with which he misunderstands everything at exactly the wrong time.